Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Empire Secrets. I'm your host, Mariana Henninger. It has been a hot minute since I've recorded an episode, and I really miss it. I have so much to catch up on. I am looking a little different today. If you're watching me on YouTube, you could probably tell that I am just waking up, and that is absolutely true. It's not even 5:30 in the morning. But I am headed on a little road trip to see family over the weekend. So I wanted to get this done before I left. And yesterday I wasn't feeling so well. In fact, I heard from folks coming from the same conference that I did that a couple of people got sick. I luckily didn't get sick. All I needed was about 5,000 hours of sleep. And so I took half of that yesterday and did not get barely any work done that I really needed to get done. So here I am at 5:27 in the morning recording my podcast. Wherever this finds you, I hope you are doing amazing. I cannot wait to share some stuff that's happened over the last couple weeks with you. And I hope your summer is going well. If you're in the Northern Hemisphere, hope your summer is as amazing as it could be. I have been enjoying so much time in the ocean and I thrive. I basically run on solar power. So summers are my absolute favorite thing on earth. And I'm enjoying so much time outdoors in the water and really noodling and ruminating on my business, thinking a lot about what's next and making some movement in that direction, which is so exciting. One of the things you might notice if you see me on camera is that I'm wearing a Go High Level shirt. So say hello to the newest sponsor of our podcast. I'm just kidding. Not yet. Anyway, so I got this t-shirt at the conference that I am going to tell you about. It's the Commitment Summit, and it was in Cancun last week over several days, and I was invited to be a speaker on stage. And I just want to share how incredible of an experience everything was. Really, the thing that I am taking most away from the conferences that I'm attending these days is, yes, some panels here and there, like I'll take some notes. Oftentimes I'm not taking furious notes like I used to a couple years ago when I was starting my business. I feel like less and less there are things that I feel are aha moments for me, and that's okay. I think that's normal. It doesn't mean the conference wasn't good, right? Or the conference that I'm attending wasn't good. It just meant that I'm way more selective about the things that I know will make a difference for me. And in addition to sharing my message on stage, which I want to tell you all about how I prepared and what it was like. The most important takeaway for me has been the relationships, the conversations that I had both before showing up on stage and afterwards. I think it was so fun to meet people or have conversations with people where you didn't have to introduce yourself. You didn't have to talk too much about what you did because they had just heard you express all of that and explain all of that on stage. And folks just coming up to me with so much resonance, with so much, oh my gosh, this was so interesting. I want this. I'm thinking about this now. I'm thinking about it for my clients, for myself. It was a conference of agency owners. And so hopefully what I really intended to do, my hair is all over the place. What I really hoped to do was both show them how a brand video system could be useful for their agency and for their clients. And there was a lot of resonance, I think, with my message. It was all about how we don't have to buy into this myth that it takes so much volume and consistency of volume to get into people's hearts. One of the things that I noticed actually, because as I started following folks that I was meeting at the conference, and by following wildly, it's on Facebook. This is the go-to platform of all of the agency owners that I met. And it was kind of it's the thing that I realized was that their clients are on Facebook, therefore they're on Facebook. And I did not expect that at all. I did not expect people to be sharing their Facebook profile first. I'm like, okay, wow, this is this is so interesting. And they're all young, nobody's. So I thought that was really interesting. some of the folks are posting 10 times a day, 10 times a day on Facebook. And I'm like, oh my gosh, which is, it's so interesting to me. Again, I have never said that volume doesn't work. All I've said is that volume can lead to burnout. Volume is exhausting. Volume is this machine that keeps turning and never ends. And there is an easier way to build that connection for those who want it, right? I don't want to force this on anyone, but if you want an easier path, there is one. And that is through what we do, which is a brand video that communicates and connects and engages that top of funnel person that's never met you before, to get them to feel like day one, okay, you just landed on my page, you don't know who I am. 3 minutes later, you're like, wow, I know this person. I feel like I know them. I feel like I've been around them for a long time. I could retell their story, which is what folks tell me when they watch my brand video. I feel like I could tell your story to somebody else. I feel like you're top of mind now, only after watching my brand video, which is so cool. So anyway, I met a ton of great people. I took a ton of great notes. I wanted to focus on, oh, actually, before I go into the main thing I wanted to share, there were some really cool tools that folks shared as well. They did something called a hack and tell, which I thought was so sweet. It's such a cute name. And folks using Lovable and Replit to create all sorts of like mini SaaS tools for their business, for their clients. And I can't help but feel like that is a really interesting business model. I don't think these folks had like changed their entire business towards offering these tools as paid tools, but I know somebody who has, and it feels really interesting, really enticing. And in a way, all of the alarm signals in my head are going off because it just feels like a shiny object. With that said, I can't help but like keep it in the back of my head. It felt like they were so easy to create, which I know is never the case. It's never the case that it's just as easy as you might imagine. Not totally unrelated. One person I met, this kid who's like in his mid 20s, is creating a website in 5 minutes. He created a program that creates your website, your WordPress website in 5 minutes. And he demonstrated that on stage and it was mind blowing. You only had to answer a few questions with a click of a button. You had an entire website built. Granted, it was like a single template and he's going to add more templates, but the idea that these agency owners could create website for their clients in minutes is mind blowing. Anyway, so that was fascinating. The big thing that I really, really thought about a lot, actually, two big things. One that I'll share with you right now, which is the conversations around how to install AI in your business and what AI can be used to accelerate in terms of operations, in terms of closing leads. Closebot was a sponsor, as well as High Level and others of the conference. And the thing that I always think about when I think about AI accelerating my business, right, which is what we're all talking about, is two ways. I love AI accelerating my business on the back end. I love it when it accelerates and optimizes my operations. I love when it makes things easier for us to deliver, faster for us to deliver. I don't love AI on the front end when it is operating solo without identifying as AI. And I feel like I finally have a very clear stance on that, which before I was kind of wishy-washy. I was like, oh, I don't know. I feel a little icky about it. I don't like being on the receiving end, but I know that it's useful, all of that. And I have now taken a much clearer stance on how I feel about using AI top of funnel, using AI to have those conversations that are happening before people become your clients, or even conversations at all. At any point in time, whether somebody is not a client yet or becomes a client, when they are interfacing with AI, and my stance is that I want them to know it's AI. I want there to be some sort of identifier that it's AI. The thing that I hate the most, I don't care how good it is. I don't want to, opinions change. This is my opinion on this day in 2025. My opinion is that in my business, I don't want there to ever be a moment where somebody's interacting with AI that they're not aware that it's AI. So regardless of how good it is, regardless of how much it sounds human and actually gets you what you need, which is the most important thing, Although this very second most important thing in my playbook is that the person actually enjoys the experience. So whether they get the answer that they need or not, that is the most important thing. But just below that is whether they enjoy the experience, whether that experience of getting that answer was a positive one because it was enjoyable, because there was transparency, or was it ick because you're like, I think I'm talking to a bot. I'm not sure. This is weird. Right. And so moving forward in my own business, that is my stance, where if there's interaction between bot and human being a client outside of my company, right? So with not being somebody internal to my team, if there's interaction there, there's going to be a requirement that they identify themselves as a bot. The second thing, which I had a conversation with Bryce from CloseBot, which is a software that helps you close deals. It works on high level. And Bryce was telling me that the way that he built his software is that I'm not sure whether it identifies as a bot or not, but it is meant to accelerate the process to getting that person to a human. And that's all I remember that I can quote exactly from that conversation. But I loved that idea that it was, what can I get out of the way? What are the quick questions that I can answer for you so that when you speak to a human, things are already moving, right? And you can get your answers even faster. And you feel like you've made some progress, that you've like started that conversation. And so moving forward in my business, that is going to be part of my SOP and MO. And I felt really good to kind of set that barrier to identify like, this is what I love about it. This is what I don't love about it. I don't love reading something that was spit out by AI. It feels disrespectful. It feels like you didn't take the time. I feel like a number. I don't want to feel like a number. I don't buy from anyone where I feel like just a number on a spreadsheet. And the way I usually say it is like, I don't want to feel like a number on a spreadsheet with a timer next to it, which is like time to purchase, right? Or delay to purchase your thing. So that's how I stand. I am going to write an email about this very, very soon. I'm going to call it, "This is not a bot," something like that as the subject line, because I really want to talk about this line in the sand that I've drawn, because we might be the slowest growers or not. I don't know how this will affect the growth of my business, but I treat people well first, even if that means I do less business, I close fewer deals. I'm not using AI to the extent that it could be using, all of that. I don't care. And until I feel differently, because I buy differently, or because I feel like everyone else is buying differently, nobody cares anymore. That might change at that point. But for now, this is how I want to buy and this is how I want to sell. So that's a big thing that I took away from this conference personally. This wasn't even like talked about. I'm the one who keeps talking about it, I think. But I'm curious whether you listening right now agree with me or not. The second thing that is more of a personal share again, but it's about the direction of my business. So the cool thing that happened is I've shared on past episodes where I'm market researching under the curtain or behind the scenes 2 different niches that I have never worked with before. And I'm so excited to not only have connected with people who work in those niches, but to have a game plan moving forward. And so right now where I am is my head is split in the sense that there's still a really big part of me that wants to take the brand video accelerator, which is my core program, which you learned to create a brand video and install the system DIY in your business with some additional help. If you would like it, there's some upgrades. I would love to build that evergreen funnel. So that's one. But I've made it my goal to get to 3 brand video signature clients a month. And until I'm at least like on my way there and feeling at least very close to that, hitting that goal, I'm not going to pause and take a ton of time to build the evergreen funnel. So what that means is that I'm pushing forward on researching these 2 niches that I think will be really great clients for the signature side of things. And the brand video signature, for those of you who don't know, I'm like, what the heck is she talking about? That's where we create your brand video and install that system in your business for you. We do everything from market research to writing your script to planning out your shoot day, getting a team, cinematography team to come and film you for a whole day, and then we edit your brand video and then install it in your system. So we do everything soup to nuts with very little of your time involved. And so those are the kinds of clients that we're growing right now. And it takes being in different rooms. It takes speaking to different people. In fact, I put in my application. Whatever. I am sharing things as they happen. It's okay. I'm wearing the high level shirt because I also applied to be a speaker at their event in Dallas, and I am leaving it in God's hands. I think it would be a fantastic opportunity to speak there. I do have a few intros that might help me get my application seen and validified, if you will, or stamp of approval, get this girl on stage. We'll see. But either way, I do have a few things that are changing, right? My marketing is changing as a result of targeting different folks or different levels of the different stages of their business and potentially these different niches. And one thing that I'm still unsure about is how I'm going to market to the niche that I've always marketed to, which is coaches and course creators, which I love. I love the online coaching world. I feel like I'm part of it somehow. You know, I coached my students through the Brand Video Accelerator program. And I love it. I think coaches have the potential to transform lives, and a lot of them do. So I would love to continue supporting that niche. I just feel like that's not the right niche it's not the niche that I feel is the best fit in a big way for my brand video system. What I'm trying to say is, like, I think there are hungrier niches for my done for you offer. Even though every coach I've spoken to would love it, they're not always at a place where they can afford it. They typically are doing a lot of content already, and so it feels more like a nice to have, although it would accelerate all of that. And I know it would because I have case studies. I'm excited about these other niches that I'm exploring. My doors are always open for coaches and course creators, but I think there are other folks as well who would really benefit from what I do. And so, yeah, moving forward, what that looks like is I'm focusing on my IPAs, my income producing activities. They are being systemized now more than ever. So my calendar is being really drawn out, where I have time blocked, where I am in the process of time blocking. It actually needed to get done yesterday, and then I was sleeping all day because I didn't feel very good. Feel much better now. So my calendar is now being time blocked. I've got all of these, what am I calling them? Not deliverables. They are things that I need to essentially either hit goals, right? That I need to essentially either hit or not hit. And at the end of every week, I am marking whether these are hit or not. So I'm going back to the 12-week year system. If you've been around with me for a while, you know that that is one of my favorite business books on the planet. I talk about it in one of my first episodes of this podcast. And I'm doing a 12-week year that started this week and goes all the way to the end of October. I am thinking about running a Black Friday sale. So I'm leaving some time on my calendar every week to prepare for that sale, to kind of ramp up for that sale. But I am so excited to be learning more about high level, not to be the biggest fangirl, but I kind of am turning into one. I'm learning about the pipeline feature, which seems amazing. Just like the all-in-oneness of it, the fact that I can do so much in this one platform in a very decent, robust, not buggy way is mind-blowing to me. I love, love, love that. I do feel like I need to have some sort of project management system. So I am about to hire and onboard a CMO for my business, which is super exciting. There's so much happening. I feel like I'm only updating you on half of it right now, but the wheels are turning. The business is growing. I'm in front of new people. I am making new connections. And it's so exciting because I really feel like what I do now more than ever matters. More than ever, we are getting sick of AI content, and this is just like the beginning. More than ever, we are seeking human connection. This is why in real life events are exploding right now. I hear it everywhere around me that people want in-person events. They want in-person gatherings. I am actually filling up my own calendar with travel now, which I'm so excited about. I would love to do one conference every other month at least. So at least 6 a year is my goal for next year. I don't think I'm going to hit that this year, and that's okay. I want to be very intentional about which ones I'm going to as well. So yeah, I'm just so excited for this new phase. I'm looking for more stages. I love that my talk had so much resonance with folks. The organizers of the event came up to me and said, "Listen, we knew you were going to do a good job, but we're so impressed. It was so great." And that just makes me feel so good. I feel like there are a couple things I want to tweak and obviously keep improving, but there are a few things that I'm like, I'm not going to say that next time. I'll share one of them with you, which is that I'm very time conscious. I'm very aware of people's attention and the time of the event. So I want to be very respectful when there's a timer in front of me. And I reference the timer like once or twice, and I didn't need to do that. I could have just taken note in my head. So that's one thing I'm going to tweak. But otherwise, it felt like it landed really well. It felt like it flowed. I had practiced and rehearsed a million times. This was a new talk that I gave. And so, very excited about improving on that even more and reaching bigger audiences and different audiences and smaller audiences. Getting into masterminds is a really big thing of mine right now. So, without further ado, I need to hit the road. And I wanted to wish you a very excellent rest of your week. I'm so excited to be sharing all this news with you. Love what's happening on my world and would love to hear what's happening in your world. I'm going to be more active on socials starting next week with my new content plan. But you can still, even now, find me on Instagram. I've been sharing stories, just not posts. So Instagram at Brand Magnetic. And I'm on LinkedIn, Mariana Henninger, and Henninger, Mariana with one N. And I would love to hear from you and hear what's going on in your business, what you're working on. Does any of this excite you, resonate with you, inspire you? What's new on your plate? How are you ramping up in August towards a fantastic second half of 2025? Or you're not. Maybe you're relaxing by the pool, and that is a-okay. All right, my friends, I miss you. I love you, and I will see you on the next episode of Empire Secrets. Bye for now.